Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Tomorrow, where we discuss anything and everything. I'm your host Petrina.
And I'm a co-host, David.
Okay, on the show today we have Dupe. Welcome to the show. And we also have Nathaniel. Thank you for being on the show today.
And we have the one and only formidable Mr. Abako.
Formidable.
Welcome to the show.
Petrina, I'm glad to be here.
Okay, today's discussion is, should men speak up? And I'm just going to throw it out there. Let me start from you.
Wow.
Should men speak up?
Well, for me, I'm talking as a lady now. I think they should, though I feel they are not the speaking type. So say like let's say for a woman now, your emotions, whatever way you feel, we like to throw it out, like just speak out to feel relaxed. That's the way we get ourselves together, speaking out. But as a man, most times they say they are logical being, and they like to keep in a lot. So, but sometimes I feel keeping in is not necessary. When you speak up, we can know your problem and bring out solutions.
All right.
Sometimes.
Okay, men should speak up, but only to people who are worth it. I say people who are worth it because if you speak up, people might use it against you. Yes, speak up. Like, I was in a relationship. I was in my 400 level. And I was battling with some forms of courses then. As good as I was battling with courses then in school. And I had a lady then, I won't call her name, she knows already, she's in this. Where
She's in this place.
no, she's not, of course, she's not. She was there. It's a thing to tango thing. And did you know I opened up to her that I'm having issues with some courses and all of that? Guess what happened? The news went around the department because in my department we assess our result ourselves. They don't paste it. There's a code. Your matric no code. And I discovered in that same relationship I was having financial issues. And immediately I opened up to this girl. She was doing zigzag. You see, that's the reason most men don't want to come. It's not like men are not emotional beings. We are emotional beings. We cry in sacred thoughts too. But once you open up to your friends, the society will feel like instead of handling this, you are talking with that same problem. And if there's a spouse that understands, men should open up. A good man. If there are family that understand, even your own family can be a threat to you opening up. Your mom, your dad, it can be a problem. There are some family you open up to instead of struggling and say, see your mate, get car, see your mate, this one, you are here opening up. Nobody could send your papa or if you no cash out, you go explain, tie and no evidence as born as safe. So the thing is that if you want to open up, make sure it's people that are worth it. So men should open up because men go through depression too. Men are emotional beings too. Yeah. Men go through a lot of which I will not be saying. So to me, if you not open up, guy go buy. So open up. Men should open up.
Okay, so I think it's not bad for men to open up. We cannot not communicate. So yes, so definitely no, there's no but. Actually, it's a strength. I understand what he's saying, but I think that the mark of maturity is to do what you know is right, regardless of who thinks it's right or wrong. That's it. So opening up for me is a type of vulnerability, and I've said it that time and again that there is a lot of strength in being vulnerable. That you are so low and so mediocre that I can be vulnerable with you. That's up to you. But for me, I've learned to judge myself. And if I have to open up, it is because I have my reason for doing so. But what you say or your reaction may not determine how I feel about what I've done. Because I know that sometimes people grow through the years and when they learn new things, they think of those whom they've seen do that thing in the past.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's not bad if in 10 years and you're looking for somebody who and you can learn from me. It's okay, but whether you're a husband or so men are not defined by 6 packs or by the size of their muscle, or by the weight of their thighs, or even by their genitals. I'm sorry.
Yes.
A man is defined first of all by his mind. Does he realize he's a man? And does he understand the implication of being a man, the responsibility that comes with his sex? Who he is physiologically, who he is mentally, who he is emotionally, who he is psychologically, who he is socially, and even spiritually. So, because men are naturally, and I mean, today we have all kinds of isms in the world thrown about to scatter, but I believe that naturally men are responsibility takers and burden bearers. You can't take it from them. And it's the reason why they want to beat more odds than others perhaps. And so if even, I mean, I was talking to people before the show started, whether men should also cry. Of course, they should cry if they have to cry. We learned about the greatest man that I know has ever lived, Jesus Christ. When we say Jesus wept. Yeah. Crying is not weeping. Weeping is when you shed tears. Yes. Crying is an umbrella word for a range of emotions. Yes. Okay, yes. That sometimes can be deeply felt even if you're not expressing. But that was he shed tears, he wept. So if even Jesus wept, who am I to now try to play man? But yes, it doesn't mean that men should become sissies.
Yes.
They should not become sissies. Because whether we want to accept it or not, there's a whole lot that depends on the man being strong.
Yes.
The day he caves in, it is either the things that depend on him will come to a standstill, will wait, or look for an alternative elsewhere. So men, I mean, what was I telling you again? I thought I said there is probably a reason why more men have been found as generals on the battlefield. Because the quick thinking that is required to take decisions that separate men from life and death is not something that you want to stay back and process and imagine and think. Men give orders on the go. You can, and for me, I mean, those sort of things come naturally to me. So, should men also speak up? Of course, they should, but they should not become weaklings. They should never become.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you because I too think that men should speak up, but at the same time, I've seen the way society tears them apart when they speak up. There was this case of a guy that tweeted about his rape. Not his rape. Sorry, he was raped while he was younger, and he came out to tell people about it. And they were like, "How can you be raped, you're a guy? How can you be raped? Are you trying to tell us that you do not enjoy it?"
Imagine.
So, in that kind of scenario, I can see why men have to speak up.
Especially because in a lot of relationships, speaking up should. Sometimes people speak to therapists, speak to people, all kinds of the matter that Nathaniel was raising, I wanted to ask a follow-up question, but we're not in.
Okay, you can answer.
No, it's fine. It has been skipped on. But again, our relationships matter.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad I have a wife that I can discuss just anything with.
That's good.
And I won't be taken to the guillotine or guillotine to say for so and so. Yeah. Okay, so that's important. It matters. People that you have in your circle that you can reach out to, that you can, because that's one. Then secondly, again, because we are in an environment, the social media age, in which people sometimes what's even pushing somebody to think that it is not like it ought to be. May just be a collection of illusions that are things that are not real.
Yeah.
They may compare with somebody and say, "You they can't open up a bit that," like you said. But the people that they're even referring to may not be what in appearance they seem to be. So, but if you find ourselves in a place where we can be real with ourselves and just be down to earth, I think that there's a measure of balance we can find emotionally when we open up than we find when we don't at all open up. So it's important that we are
open up. Let me throw this question to you. Sorry. If you come out now that you were raped, is the society going to believe this man that he was raped?
As a child or
as an adult as well?
As an adult.
Yes.
So it's going to be a difficult. Now this is no. This is the thing. A lot of people have been molested as children.
Yes.
In fact, I take the risk to say that if we survey, I mean behind the cameras, if we survey this table, this very table, where we are, the number will be more than one, if not more than two.
Okay.
So now, that being the case, for some, maybe they found closure at some point and they moved on. For some, they didn't. It has gone on to define how they see the opposite sex. If people say they like tall women, there was a lady who, from the first man she engaged to the second man she engaged, people who are 20 years older, 15 years older.
Wow.
I told the woman, I said, that's your friend. Go and find out whether she was abused by a very old person when she was young. It's not normal for a lady. And they are abusive. She came out of, I think, a marriage for about 13 or 15 years or so.
Wow.
And then looked for somebody who was who was now. So I said, go and check with your friend. When I addressed it, the lady couldn't say anything again. She paused. I said, go and ask her, find out whether when she was small. She was so these things go on to shape people over time. That's also so now how can we be bold enough to open up on that kind of thing? Who do you want to open up to? Whom do you want to tell? You're asking me so first of all, if it was molestation, which is like when you're underage, when you're an infant, is a different thing, right?
So you can't molest an adult.
You can molest.
It's rape.
Even if it's not.
Sorry, that's defilement for a child. Rape for another. But if it's molestation, right? Sorry, yeah, I think so. You can. But molestation is the story you tell is what matters.
Yeah.
You have to tell the story in a way that
They will believe.
yes.
For Nigeria, nobody goes.
No. Don't take it
It's
like that.
actually very
hard to
difficult.
believe
See,
because
the thing is that, let me say something. A lot of men need to heal. Because we are humans too. Oga, speak up. If you carry load, will not be your own. Some men, they are just carrying family problems that they feel like, let me pay this fee, let me do that. Oga, if you die, these people will live it out. That's the truth.
Exactly.
Men, speak up. If there's a load you can't carry, don't just speak it.
And no, so
You
the
speak up.
speaking now, sorry. So
Yes,
you
speak
know, you
up.
asked me a question earlier. So you have to tell the story in a way that it's believable. Say the truth. A man can be, I mean, if I catch you on the road, handcuff you, you know, that kind of thing, and whatever happened. So you state it, and it's not just about telling the story. It's also that's a criminal issue, right?
Yeah.
So that's on the one hand. When you talk about men carrying loads that they cannot bear, so there are very typical situations. That one is speaking of, may not even be the solution. What you need is to understand who you are, where you are, and what you can do based on where you are. It's not about speaking of. So
Okay.
you are working, you're earning 100,000, which in today's Nigeria does not come to anything. Am I correct?
But I'm not sliding into that. You know, men are wired in such a way that we are meant to take responsibility. And there's no way, most men, they won't even open up to tell their people how much they are earning in the first place. It will be very difficult. Can you tell your dad how much you're earning? A few men do that.
I was going
Now,
there.
you were telling your dad.
I was going there.
Okay, you were going there,
Yes.
right? Okay, continue.
So my wife knows how much I earn. I know what she earns. For me, that's so I don't know, because again, we need, when it's a man carry responsibility, I said it earlier, right? So we need to define properly what the responsibility should be. Okay. You get where I'm going now. So they need help with understanding basic. If you're earning 100,000 naira as salary, automatically there is maybe you're newly married. So you should know that maybe you shouldn't be doing more than one child, 2 children.
Yeah.
Right? So if even you wouldn't do more than 1 or 2 children, why should the burden of others now become? See, there are some things that you should automatically not be even thinking of doing.
Yeah.
Every man is responsible for himself.
Yeah.
When you've taken care of your own, that's a primary responsibility. The one that can be left over for others. Let me raise a very sensitive topic here. Not that I want us to debate it now. When you're married as a man, the Bible teaches me that my primary responsibility is my wife and my friends. But I'm sorry to say. And that does not mean that you don't take care of your parents. It's in the Bible to take care of your parents. But in marriage, you will leave your family, your mother and father, and leave to your wife. It is basic. Now, when somebody will say, because his mother. Not that he shouldn't take care of her,
Yes.
but that 100,000 naira salary, 50,000 or up to 70% of that money is going out. Then, so you don't now have enough to take care of
Your wife.
your own. Yeah, I mean, because it's a very sensitive topic. So that's like,
Yes.
so you are giving so much out and you don't have enough to take care of your own. I met a young man. I said, "You are thinking." He said, "How did I know that?" Somebody told him before. He was thinking too much. Of course, he had legitimate problems when I spoke with him. But I tried to tell him, I said, "These are your primary things to take care of. The rest, do the best you can." And come on, because like you said, if the person passes on, what then happens? They will not die, they will live on.
They'll live on.
So every man needs to know what his perimeter or circumference is.
Yes.
That's the primary thing. That one is, I think that one can come through mentoring, can come through counseling, can come to when people go to social media to try to say, I think that pity party won't even help you.
Yes.
They will come up. That one that you're saying rape now, I am very shocked. Somebody said, "I wish I was the one." It's true.
It's weird because
in the comment section,
hardly men. See, the problem starts from the root. I think young boys should be not taught when they are growing to. The parents should tell them that they should learn to speak up too. The society focuses so much on the girl child, forgetting that a properly raised girl child can get ruined by a poorly raised boy.
of course.
It's a problem. So now, see, when as a lady now, once you start seeing your breast is coming, message is coming, your parents
It's called
are
puberty.
but as a man, nobody
tells
Are
them.
you-
They are not educated.
there's no
okay.
wet dream. Nobody. It's not like they don't. And if such man grows up, he sees the dad always calm. If you notice, most dad they don't talk too much. You see your dad sometimes quiet outside and all of that. In the African setting or in the world setting, it's wired that the man should keep things to say. But I want to say this to the world now. Please, if you are a man, speak up. If you are going through anything that you wish, and if you want to speak up, know the person you are speaking up to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but as a boy child, speak up. And men should learn to speak up, not when they are men. They should learn to speak up on when they are boys, because it's from boy that we have men. So generally, I would still advise the world again. Please, men, speak up. If there's anything, anybody, in anything, you are free. You are human. You have emotions too. So I would advise men to speak
So I
up.
want to put this out there. How do we break the trend that men who speak up are weak?
Too.
No.
Community stereotypes it as.
Yes, okay. Normally, like I said earlier when I was talking, men are not the type that you see that every point in time they would want to pour out their mind, unlike we women. Pouring out our own mind, it's a way we get to console ourselves and to relieve ourselves of that emotional burden. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But as a man, you've been trained, I believe it's a training from childhood. You've been trained to buckle up everything, and it is when the whole stuff, the emotional trauma and everything is very hard that you are allowed to talk. So for me, I feel you speaking out shouldn't mean you should be careless or just be free to talk anything or anything anyhow or at any time. You should, as you've been trained as a man, which I also sometimes I pray for that God just give me the heart of the man that can keep things, keep. I'm serious, because there is this joy you can have that you are going through something and
It's not getting to you.
and you can keep the emotions, and at the end of the time you are coming out victorious. That's the part
It's a virtue.
I admire from men actually. So you talking out every time, it will be boring, even for the person you are talking to.
Okay,
The person will feel
are
like
you insinuating
it
that?
will be boring.
Because
I notice whatever a man does, like they put their whole in it. So they are logical beings. So if they want to talk, they will break it down. So now imagine you're having problem at every time and you're coming, breaking it down. The person you are talking to, though
I want to counter that in just a
No,
second.
hold
I've
on,
never
hold on.
seen a man who will break it down.
No,
within the
I have
shadow.
a friend actually.
Give me
I have a
That's your
friend
friend,
actually.
There is a boy.
We might not talk.
Those
We
ones
might
are
not
not
talk. We might not talk in months
Mhm.
or weeks, but once there is a
He
body,
wants to now pour it out. Yeah.
you'll be like, babe, come. Like you're not in a relationship. It's just a very close
Yeah.
friend, and he would, because I, as a lady, I want to hear every detail, so I
Yes.
would know how to
Help,
advise
yes,
you. Do you
yes.
understand?
Yes.
But I know men, and when they want to talk, babe, I've been raped. Oga, no, you cannot just tell me you how
Did it
would you
happen?
think?
Yeah.
Yes, so that I can know how to advise. But when it's coming up all the time,
No, so I think
gets
that
boring.
both Natalia and you are not speaking from different points of view, right? We all agree that there is a need for us to what? To speak up.
stop, yes.
But I also won't agree that a man is speaking every day.
Yes.
He will lose
That's
sight.
out of it.
Yes.
He will lose sight of, yes.
You lose sight.
A woman could.
Could, yeah.
A woman could, and she has shoulders to fall on. That's the man's shoulders, right?
Yeah.
They both will discuss with each other. The man's place is to provide leadership and direction, and so on. But men, when you know that, like you said, when the burden is getting is getting too much on you, speak up. I think that a lot of times men are taking on more than they ought, and I'm not even talking about they more than they ought to take on. You know, that kind of thing. So that's I think who was the person? The scenario could be, as a single man, you're living with your siblings, brothers, sisters, everybody living together. Now you're going to get married. I think that if you can, right, create an alternative source of income or sustenance for them, so that when you have your home, you can have sanity and have your own space properly. But don't make it look like now that they're going to bring Jessica as a wife, they are going to be the trial children before you even start having your own. You will have, it's wrong. So when values are not where they ought to be, and you say you're carrying burden, I don't think you carry. It's not so much about the burden. It's about the fact that you haven't placed your values right. So
your
so I think that when we have our values right, half of the burden will shift,
Okay.
and then we can have a saner
let's
and
wrap up.
healthier.
Let's wrap up this conversation. Let me just, if you can, in 60 seconds, what do you think a man should do when he has spoken up and gets a backlash, gets a kind of response?
It's a tough one.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
Okay, I think that
You know what some men do.
once you speak up as a man, and the society or the person you spoke up to give you maybe a reply you're not favorable, you should pick yourself up and move. You know, in life you're going to fail. Fail, pick yourself up and move again. We are wired in such a way. You've learned your lessons. Now, the only person to confide in is yourself. I can tell you that I believe so much in you, but I will still tell you that I want you to believe in yourself more than I do. There's no limit to what anybody can achieve. You speak up and the society, nobody, you keep it to yourself and move on.
So how
But-
long is that?
Yes, that's
But there is a but. But if you find the right person to speak up to, it's not like necessarily you be speaking up everything. If you find the right person that is trustworthy, that you're able to, even if it's one person, you can.
Okay.
For me, I would say you should speak up. Speaking up for me doesn't mean you would get a solution to whatever you're saying. Speaking up is for you to shed
your
off
mind.
That relief,
yeah, just
that relief, that
yourself.
innate relief.
So you might not necessarily
Necessarily
want
get
to,
solution.
just as a woman would do. We speak up most times, not
Not
because
for
we want you
solutions,
to
exactly.
be our
Just
savior.
choke here and
But
that's
just-
the time.
Let me just
Just
go this
there,
thing. Let me
just
just go.
Immediately you open up, immediately there's this spirit that comes.
Yeah,
It's another
there's this
thing that
calmness
comes.
in your mind.
Your spirit,
eh.
it's just like you're hiding a sin. Immediately you let it out. Maybe,
Like it's like you are being true to yourself.
I think
And
that's
that's
Okay, let's hear from Mr.
So what I can say is, look for the person you know owes you nothing but the truth. Okay? For the people that I've interacted with at that level, sometimes like people, I listen. And if from the way the person is talking, you can hear what the person wants. If the person is not interested in what I have to say, which I know I will say, because I can't pound over certain things, it's the truth you need to hear. You will know the truth, and the truth
We'll set
will
you
set you
free.
So if all that I can do is just to listen to that person, I'll listen to the person and let it be there. But If I know that this person requires intervention, then we can begin a conversation. That's how I think it should be done. So look for the person that you know will tell you. You can look and I can tell you.
Thank you, Mr. Bako.
You wanted me to be
Yes, I do.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Dupe, for
Thank
being
you
on
for
the show.
having me.
Thank you, Nathaniel, for joining
Yeah.
us today. And thank you, our viewers, for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and see you next time.
Bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.